What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Civilization 5 is England. In the previous part, we built more army, is pretty much what we did. We also got a university in London and probably one, in York as well, which is good. And that's pretty much it. We're still looking at Assyria, who is about to go down. Assyria's capital city is going to be taken by the Huns really, really soon. You know, bummer for him, because he's a nice guy, but what are you going to do about it? And then also Shaka wanted me to declare war on the Huns myself, and he's willing to do it for a very reasonable price. I'm going to give this guy 6 gold per turn, 7 gold per turn. Okay, how much happiness do we have? You know what? I am completely willing to part with my gems if he will declare war on Attila. I will do it. It's a sacrifice, but it is a sacrifice that will eventually, hopefully, pay off. Shaka has the biggest army in the game. And this could potentially save Assyria. So what I'll do is see if he wants to make peace with Assyria. Okay. I can't afford that. And then also, we actually bribed... nope. We bribed the Huns to declare war on Assyria, and it's costing us a lot of money every turn. I think it's 16 gold per turn. So, it would be cool if that came to an end. And also, I really hope that Assyria stays in Assyrian hands. That would be best for us, because that way we have a stronger ally. Alright, you're good. That way we have a stronger ally. Looks like he still owns the city, so that's good. Almaty's looking for investors. Alright, so we have one more upgrade, I believe, which is the horseman to a knight. Alright, let's do it. I'm not a big fan of knights, but a horseman at this point in time is basically useless. We've got a longbowman on the way. Let's see, we should also eventually, I guess, get access to the ship of the line, but I believe that they replace either caravels or frigates. If I had to guess, I would say frigate, but I could be completely wrong. I've never played as England, really. And I don't know how ships of the line actually work at all. I have no idea as to what the mechanics there are. Alright. Come on, Shaka. Kick his ass. Alright, Nottingham has grown. He still owns the Sur. This is good. Alright, work this. We're trying to get Nottingham to grow nice and big. We're making a road to York from here, so that basically all my cities will be connected. We also built harbors in both York and London last video. So now these are connected. Alright, let's see. Market, workshop. I mean, if I'm gonna work this, I might as well put someone in a workshop, I guess. Just get that engineer at some point. So we'll just do that. That works for me. We also really want to get a university in Nottingham so that we can finally get the Oxford University. And I guess, like I said in the previous part, we're just gonna focus on getting a good amount of science while Shaka and the Huns duke it out. So this will be fun. Alright, banking is... Alright, research agreement was finished. Colombo would like some culture. Alright, the longbowman is now done. Ready to be transported over to Nottingham, which is where the war is going to erupt. There you go. Alright, you're good. Alright, next up. Over in London, we're gonna get a bank. That's kind of a no-brainer for me because I need money. Let's see, printing press. So we're trying to get to scientific theory, most of all. World Congress, a bit late for that, really. But I guess this would be one of the better paths. Alright, so it does replace the frigate. Only the English may build it, it's just really powerful. Alright, ship of the line. I guess that will be just something that we're going to try and eventually get. If we get a nice little navy, then we are going to have at least somewhat of a better resistance. It's not going to be able to protect Nottingham, however. To do that, we are going to need land units, but what we have right now is really just going to have to cut it. Because there's no way I'm going to make more units. We've already been building an army for a very long time. And it's just, for some reason, we're still not that high up when it comes to armies. We're number 5 out of 6. Alright, literacy also is not that great. So getting that extra university and then public schools as soon as possible should remedy that situation. Alright, let's see, 250. Alright. We're buddies. I was going to use that money to get a university in Nottingham, but this is also pretty nice. And, you know, as soon as we finish the workshop over there, then... Alright, let's go. As soon as we finish the workshop in here, then, production is going to be better. We might be able to just get one ourselves. Do we want a bank? Do we want... Cargo ship? Oh, no way. Alright, get a cargo ship, man. We need that cargo ship. We're going to be making a lot of money. Also, we should really get a market in Nottingham so that we can get the East India Company over in London. And that should give us a lot of extra money. Currently, we're using all of our trade routes to get a bunch of cash. We just got a free knight. Again, I don't like them. I don't like knights, but if it's free, I will take it. I'm not saying no to a free knight. That would be crazy. Alright, I got that from Almaty, didn't I? Yep. Almaty. Alright, that's another thing that we really need to save up for, actually, is bribing Almaty to be back on our side. Alright, does anybody want a trade route? Not really. Alright, so trade with Nineveh? We're not getting any more signs from this. So we might as well just trade with Almaty, which is a lot safer. Alright, let's see. 3 turns remaining. We have to lead with 7 technologies, and then Riga will like me a little bit better. So that'll be good. Alright, next turn. We also want to get rationalism. Again, as soon as possible, because that is going to give us a bit of extra science. We are lagging behind. We got the National College nice and on time, and now just the universities are not really doing that much. I don't know. Maybe I should have made a fort city. We're just not looking that great anymore. Alright, let's go. Rationalism. Yes, I will grab it. Just for that 10% extra science to get secularism. You need rationalism, really. And honestly, it is, at this point, just a lot better than patronage. So we're just going to go with this. We're going to really beef up our science and just get to work on that. Alright, let's see. Making a bank. Alright. So we should be seeing a lot more money soon. I'll also have 250 gold so that we can... Alright, Assyria's safe. We're going to get Almaty back on our side. Just because I like having them as a buddy, and then also they keep me safe. Somewhat. If Assyria were to decide to declare war on me, then Colombo and Almaty are just nice little sort of buffers between us. Alright, let's go. Make that road, man. Alright, this is all the army that we're going to need. I am not making any more troops from now on. Because that's just madness. We've been focusing on making an army for such a long time, and that's time that we could have spent on growth for cities. We could have spent that time on science. All kinds of things, really. Riga's in awe of me. Of course they are. Alright, so I definitely want to bribe them to be my allies. Well, horses to Attila and GPT to Attila has ended. So the deal that we had in the past, which is... Let's see where it is. This one. We were giving them 16 gold per turn. So we have that money back now, which is really, really cool. Alright, over in the capital. Forbidden Palace would be really nice, if only for the extra votes, but I'm not sure that it will work. At the same time, we don't really have any other buildings that I feel we really need right away. The watermill is sort of nice, but yeah, it's a lot of maintenance for that little food. I want to try and actually get the Forbidden Palace because it's such a good wonder. And there's no... Let's see. There might not be anybody else that's actually going after... Let's see. Does anybody have patronage? Nobody else actually got patronage, meaning that we are the only people that can actually build the Forbidden Palace. This is kind of a first for me. But really cool, and I'll take it. I'm not sure that it gives any more other access to any other wonders. Losing grasp of Ragusa. Alright. Printing press is done. GPT from Shaka has ended. Alright, let's keep that trade up. Shaka's a cool guy so far. In part, obviously, because he likes me. If he didn't like me, if he wanted my lands, then we would have a big issue. Alright, looking good. So this is all the army we're gonna make. Alright, let's ban salt. I don't really care. I don't have any, so I'll just vote for my own proposal there. Alright, look at that. Okay, so Shaka is starting to take some cities here. He is blocking or blockading Addis Ababa. It looks like he is taking the fight to the Huns, which is nice to see. Because that's exactly what he deserves. That dirty guy. Look at him and his smug face. I really hope that he's gonna die. Alright, look at that. Shaka took the city. Alright, only downside is if Shaka decides to take Addis Ababa and keep it and all these other cities, he's gonna be very close to me. He is going for a domination victory, so that'll be a bit of an issue for me. Alright, cargo ship go to London. Alright, looking good. So Nottingham doesn't really have that much production, so I'm going to have them finish the workshop. The other cities will focus on the World's Fair. Alright. Nobody else is going to steal the Forbidden Palace, and if we could get, let's see, World's Fair. Alright, we could just get to the silver one. I'm not going to try and win, because that's obviously not going to happen. If we can get to silver trophy, then I'm going to be happy with that. That's a free... Alright. That's just a free, science funding. Scholars in residence. Alright, let's do that for now. We can always repeat it later. Hopefully. But for now, we are definitely going to benefit from this, proposal. Alright, here we go. Siam stole steel. Really? He's the most scientific person in the world, and he stole the secret of steel from me. I don't really understand how that works, but alright. So let's get Almaty back on our side. They're currently accepting money, so this is extra effective. So let's get them on my side. We gotta choose between Ragusa, who we can't actually even get as an ally, and Riga. Riga is, however, allied with Egypt, and we're going to need a lot more money to get them permanently as an ally. You know what? I might just hold on to my money right now. Yeah, I think I will. Because it's not like I can actually bribe anyone to be an ally. Not until we maybe get more patronage policies, and that will be a while because we're going with secularism very, very quickly. Because it's so good. We have a lot of specialists. That would be a lot of science that it would bring in. Every turn. Alright, this guy trade with... Alright, so we have several options here. Alright, yeah, money-wise, we're looking real good. I'm sending the food to York. I should have done this a while ago. This way we're also spreading our religion, which is also good. Don't work that. You know what? Work the market. Or, you know, bank. Doesn't really matter either way. But let's just get that out of the way. Alright, let's get that great merchant. Okay, losing grasp on Colombo. Rugus has no longer my buddy. Yeah, I'll live. Yeah, I'll live. I don't think anybody's really going after the World's Fair. Only 2% has been completed. It looks like people have ignored it for the first turn. Maybe that's just something that happens in the first turn. I'm not really sure. I don't know what's going on. I'm pretty sure that Siam is working on it. Why are you scouting me, man? What's up with that? Alright, Nottingham has grown. Gotta get your hands on some food. Alright, so the roads are almost done. We need them to be done so we can keep focusing on the food here. But that'll be a lot of extra money as well. We're currently earning over 100 gold every turn. which is a very good number. Only Egypt can rival me in terms of all this disgusting money that I'm making. Now we do want Florence on our side, actually. So as soon as we get our great writer, I'll probably just throw a whole bunch of money their way and get them as an ally. They will give me a lot of culture. Currently our culture isn't that good. Only 26 culture a turn, which actually is bad. I mean, it's pitiful. So we're gonna have to do better. And I'm not really sure what that 30 turns plus 15 means. That might be a bug. Alright, the workshop is almost done. You know what? We might actually win the World's Fair. Question is, will it actually be worth it for us to, alright, work the sheep. Will it actually be worth it for us to, pursue it to those lengths? Because we're gonna have to put in a lot of effort and time. Which, you know, we could be focusing on a bunch of other projects instead of just, you know, the World's Fair. All right, yeah, don't worry about it. Hopefully we'll get some votes there. I'm just gonna go for the free social policy, and then I'm just gonna cut my losses, deal with that, not waste my time. Definitely not. All right, so university, market. You know what? Let's build the market. We're gonna hold off on buying these things for now, because we still have to make the Forbidden Palace as well. And okay, so we got Forbidden Palace, Oxford University, and East India, whatever company. There you go. So that's all these things that we have to make in the capital. I guess we could make the Oxford University in York as well. I'm just not really sure if that's something that we need to do. Look at his elephants, man. 53 influence. We are getting to that level where we might be able to pull this off. Alright, did you not finish your road? We gotta get this wine so we can trade it for copper or something. Some luxury that will eventually help us out. Because right now, as it stands, next turn we are going to get -1 happiness, which isn't good at all. We also still got to get Circus Maximus. We still have so much to do in London. And, you know, that's also because we've been focusing mainly on preparing for this war. I mean, look at all the troops that we basically pooped out in, like, I don't know how many turns, but we've been focusing on nothing but troops for quite a bit. Alright, let's... Should we go with that? Sure, let's do it. Alright, we're almost there. Alright, how's this war going? Oh, look at that. Addis Ababa is about to go down. It is pretty obvious that Shaka has the upper hand in this war, although the Huns have more troops at this point. So really, it's anyone's guess who's going to win this. Interesting. So we could give Colombo a little bit of money, and then we would get porcelain and ivory. Seems like a good idea. So we'll do this, and then, you know, next turn they're going to give me porcelain and ivory, which just seems like we already have porcelain and ivory. What luxuries do you have? Oh, they already have ivory. All right. Riga, do you have any great luxuries that I might want? Ivory. What is up with the ivory? This is England. These guys have incense and wine. Now, the wine I don't care about, but the incense is pretty good. Now, we should be able, I think, to sell the extra ivory. But it looks like everybody has ivory already. Or we can't actually sell it. It's tough to say. Alright, so we'll hold on for a little bit. Until we can get our wine back. Then we'll trade it with Siam for some copper. Nope. Good luck with your war, though, buddy. I'm sure that's going to go just great for you. Alright, if possible, I would like to swoop in and take Guzana. It's not in that amazing of a spot. I mean, it's quite good. They have some good stuff. But they have Mount Kilimanjaro, isn't it? It's not Fuji, it's Kilimanjaro. Yeah, it's Kilimanjaro. I mean, that's just very nice to actually have. Alright, city connection was established. Byblos would like some culture. Friendship with Assyria has run its course. Let's get that going again. He's a good guy. You know, I enjoy hanging out with him. And he's been nothing but trustworthy since I met the guy. Alright, one more turn, now we can actually stop working for the World's Fair. We're only 32% completed, so it's fair to say that probably the Huns and Shaka are not really working on this. It appears to be just me and Siam and maybe Assyria. So there is a good chance that if we keep doing this, we will eventually get that extra culture. But I feel like all this labor that we're not doing right now is not worth the extra, you know, 27 culture for only 20 turns. It's just not worth it. Alright, Bratislava. Or maybe someone like Petra. How did I meet you guys anyway? I have no idea. Do they have a boat out here somewhere or? Oh look, it's my trireme. Alright, that's probably how we met him then. Look at this. This world's actually quite large. Alright, so get rid of the World's Fair, no longer necessary. Get to work on a windmill. Windmill's just good. I mean, it's good production. You gotta have it. Over in London, I would actually say the same thing, I think. But also Forbidden Palace, I really, really want. And did anybody adopt patronage while I wasn't looking? Nope. But let's just get this out of the way, just so we can get our extra votes before the next actual vote. Because then I'm actually gonna have 3 votes, and I can make myself the host. Which would be really cool. Because being the host is gonna give me even more votes. And then having city-state allies, which I do, will give me more votes. So if a diplomatic victory is at all possible, I will pursue that. Alright, let's see. You know what, you're a good guy. Give me your pearls, how about that? I like trading with him. We're both pretty weak players, so helping each other out does seem like a good idea. Addis Ababa is about to go down. Oh, things are getting pretty rough for my old buddy, the Huns. Alright, let's, yeah, let's get it up on that hill. Alright, GPT ended. That's okay. We have 1,000 gold at our disposal. So like I was saying, I really want Florence to be on my side, but we're gonna have to spend a lot of money. So after we get this great writer, I'm just gonna throw 1,000 gold at them and get them to be my ally. And I'm sure that it is gonna be worth it. Because that is basically as good as the effects of winning the World's Fair. Except all I have to do is just pay some money. 10 turns worth of money. Which isn't that much, honestly. He still has the biggest army in the game. I don't know how he does it. What a guy. Alright, wine to a till has ended. Let's trade it with this dude then. Hey, would you like some wine? Let's trade it for copper. Thanks, buddy. Alright, let's get an academy going. Alright, so this is gonna grow. We're gonna get that rider. Alright, so we're gonna throw a stack of money. Whoa, why would you make a car to Colti Nanorta? Why would you make this when you are about to lose your stuff? Alright, that's okay. So I guess the Huns really are kind of friendly now. Did I or did I not just give away my last wine again, even though it said that I had to? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Why? Why? How could this happen? Alright, so we do have an unimproved one around Nottingham, and we're gonna get that, so that'll be alright. GPT from Ashurbanipal has ended in trade for marble. Alright, so Dr. Gray... God, that's a lot of stuff. Alright, Andrew and Attila's plotting against me. Dr. Gray was promoted. Alright, so now we know that he's plotting against me, and that's actually good info to have. Homer, why don't you write me some nice, nice Odyssey? Seems cool. Alright, thank you very much. Let's get an academy. Alright, so you focus on Just doing something here. Let's get a labor mill. Labor mill? No, lumber mill. Different thing. Alright, so we're stealing from Attila. All we can actually take is metallurgy, but that's alright. That allows us to get lancers, which is good. Florence is happy. Hong Kong will be happy when I get an engineer. Which will happen eventually. So let's throw 1,000 gold at these dudes. And there you go. That is 12 extra culture for now. But that's as long as they're my ally, which could be quite a while, so that's cool. I'm into it. Steel technology from Siam as well. Astronomy or acoustics? I guess we are going to go with astronomy then. Sure, let's do that. Let's get that ship on the line. Normally I'd say acoustics so we can get to scientific theory, but we're going to get here eventually anyway. We're actually already researching acoustics, so we're okay there. Alright, so we have Florence on our side. We are going to have to pay them a little bit more next turn, because I'm pretty sure that Egypt will just grab him back. So that is what we're going to do. Alright, Forbidden Palace in 11 turns. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be back soon with more Civilization 5, and then we're going to go after the University in Nottingham, because we really need to get this. We're going to get the Oxford University, and then eventually, if at all possible, the East India Company. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later.